Hey everybody, this is Scott. So today, took the wheeler out to Rocky Glen in Rockford, Illinois. Uh, I put a bunch of mods on, added in snorkel kit and everything else, and before my trip down to Badlands, Attica, Indiana, I wanted to make sure that I gave it a good run around and didn't have any complications. Today, this visit, we were pretty dry in Rockford, Illinois. So it's a little dry, a little dusty. The last time I was here, actually swamped the machine. There's a hole back here. The direction that I'm traveling right now from the parking lot, there's an outer loop that you can go on, and it goes through some pretty heavy brush, and there's a hole in there that's a good 4 feet deep. So if you go here, make sure you be careful running that outer loop. Otherwise, as you can see, I'm still kind of going through the entrance area at this point. People park their cars and everything in this spot here, so they have you go kind of slow, but with it being so dry and previous couple of weeks, month, it has been really wet, so there's a whole lot of washboarding and everything going on, which you will notice here coming up in the video. Other than that, it was a pretty good day. I don't want to really talk through everything, but the trip itself proved worthy. Made sure the machine was in good functioning shape. Also, just a quick explanation. So the machine you're watching right now is my 2016 Polaris Ace. Got it decked out, high lifter, 2-inch forward A-arms, high clearance, 3/16 aluminum skid, 30-inch terabyte tires. They do a really good job. I'm really impressed, even in the mud. And a bunch of other torques. Probably way too many for me to rattle off in this video. Throttle response is really good. I've got the gearing of the transmission gearing of the 325 in there. Lose a little bit of speed, gain a lot more torque, which I really do appreciate. May not make me the fastest machine on the trail, but it does give me plenty of pulling power and plenty of power to get out of that swampy stuff. So and usually this section right in here is all mud. That's part of the reason why it's so bouncy. There's usually these potholes of mud all over the place on this side of this trail. As soon as I get up past this clearing where they've got the I believe it's the high-level motocross track to the left, which you really can't see, it's by the lake. It's just past all this rutted up stuff. I'll turn to the right, which puts me on the northeastern ring. See, the motocross track here is to the left. Just at these tires on that, I'm going to be turning right. Some pretty good hill climbing stuff back here. Some swampy area to get into. You're going to notice this place has got a lot of ATVs and a lot of dirt bikes. That's the limitation of the park. You're not going to see anything bigger than UTVs, but in a sense, I think that makes it a little bit safer for everybody. The bigger, slower four-wheelers or the crawlers are really too much for the size of a lot of these trails. But yeah, I'll explain some of that as I get to that. Right now I'm actually approaching the one hilly area in the back, kind of the east and north. It's a pretty good running spot if you wanted to get some endurance runs, get it wide open. Also to the left of me here and to the right of me is some pretty low land, pretty wet, pretty swampy. Now you notice to the right there, that red sign, they had such a lot, so much water that it ended up creating washouts on this little hillside, which are basically climbing trails that they've got going up that ridge. Since the water washed out so many of them though, they kind of blocked it off for now until they can get it groomed. So they've got it all wire fenced off up on top, red signs all the way around. For people's protection. You know, they want to go there and have fun, not go there and wipe out. At this point, I'm going to take the outer trail, not the furthest outer, but I'm going to go into the wooded areas, the heavier wooded trails. Since I'm here by myself, you'll notice I drive up and take a left right up here, but that trail goes down into some swampier ground right there. Something that is a little safer to do if you're in a group. When you're by yourself, you really don't want to get yourself pinned or wedged in or stuck without the assistance of some other people. So even though I've got a winch and everything on the unit, when I'm alone, I try to do easier trailing just to make sure that I don't get myself into a situation I can't get out of. I currently belong to an ATV club, and the club does a fair amount of wheeling as a group. Usually fairly large numbers are going. However, this year has been so busy with me, I have not been able to attend any of the club functions, except for fundraisers and that. To go wheeling, so I really look forward to that, but just not in the cards this season, so to say. I was talking a little bit about the upcoming trip to Attica, Indiana, which is to Badlands, which is a park that I've never been to. I've heard some pretty good stories about it. I hope to enjoy that trip quite well. I wanted to make sure, of course this is why I'm out this day, is to make sure my machine is in good working order for the trip, just to give myself a good peace of mind. Breakdowns do occur, but I feel a lot better going somewhere where I'm going to be spending 4 or 5 days, knowing my machine will handle the 4 or 5 days. So this trail I'm on is actually the far side of that ridge that I was talking about with all the washouts. If I was to turn left right there, there's a pretty good sized body of water that's usually about a foot deep. This side here is a lot shallower. It's a lot higher ground. Gotta love a GoPro camera, that nice protective case. I don't know how many tree limbs mine has gotten smacked on. Now you notice there's some motorcycles up here to my kind of right. I actually stopped here to wait to see if any of them had gotten stuck. There's a pretty good pool of water there that's about 2.5 feet deep. I wanted to make sure before I took off they were all backing out, so I moved on. Gotta admit, they did a really good job cutting some trails in to the limited amount of acreage that they have. They tried to weave trails all through this. You will see yellow with some black arrows on trails that are small enough to be considered a one-way. They do that so that, of course, if you're going the opposite direction, it's a red placard with a black X, just to make sure that people are traveling in one direction and not running into somebody on too small of a trail to get two people past. Pretty good scenario. It seems to be working out really good for them, especially with the mix of motocross and ATVs, UTVs. Well, it looks like this video is about to an end. I will be posting another one of this trip, if not more, so stay tuned.